What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Scott's Ring Sports Today, ladies and gentlemen. I am back after after being on Facebook last week. I'm back here on YouTube this week. It is time for my Week 7 of the college football predictions and Week 6 of the NFL predictions. Let's get into those right now. So the first game out tomorrow on Saturday will be number 1 Georgia going on the road to Nashville to take on Vanderbilt. I will take Georgia in this game. I think Georgia showed to me last week that they do look like the back-to-back national champions that I've been waiting to see all season last week against Kentucky. So I will take Georgia to get a win on the road against Vanderbilt. Next up, Indiana going on the road to Michigan. I will take Jim Harbaugh and Michigan to get the win here at home. I think Michigan's been playing very well. And I'm going to take Michigan to get the win at home over Indiana. Next up, Ohio State going into West Lafayette to take on Purdue. I will take Ohio State to win this game. I think Ohio State's a better team than Purdue is right now, so I'll take Ohio State on the road over Purdue. Next up, Syracuse and Florida State in Tallahassee, 74 degrees on Saturday. I will take Florida State to get the win here at home. I think Florida State's playing very, very well right now, so I will take Florida State at home over Syracuse. Next up, Arkansas and Alabama. Give me Alabama to get a win. I think Jalen Milroe is starting to play better and better every week. So I'm going to take Alabama to get the win at home over Arkansas. Next up, California and Utah. I'm going to go with Utah to get the win here at home. I think Utah's been playing very well this season in the Pac-12. Even without their starting quarterback, Cam Rising, I think Utah's been playing very well this year. So I will take Utah to get the win at home over Cal. Next up, UMass and Penn State. Give me Penn State in this game, no problems. James Franklin, one of the best coaches in college football. So I'm going to go with Penn State to get the win at home over UMass. Next up, Texas A&M and Tennessee. I'm going to go with Jimbo Fisher and Texas A&M to pull off the slight road upset here over Tennessee. I think Texas A&M is played very good last week. Played a close game last week against Alabama. But I'm going to go with Texas A&M to get the win on the road against Tennessee. Next up, Kansas taking on Oklahoma State. I will go with Kansas. I think Kansas looks very good this year. I'm going to go with Kansas to get the win on the road in Stillwater against Oklahoma State. Next up, Louisville and Pitt. I will go with Louisville. I think Louisville's been playing very well this year. Great win last week against Notre Dame, so I'll go with Louisville to get the win on the road against Pitt. Next up, Arizona and Washington State. I will go with Washington State. I think they've been probably one of the most surprising teams in college football this year. I'm going to go with Washington State to get the win at home over Arizona. Next up, LSU and Auburn. I will go with LSU to get the win here at home. I think LSU knows they got to win out to have a chance to make the SEC championship game this year. So I'm going to go with LSU to get the win at home over Auburn. Next up, USC and Notre Dame should be a great game this weekend. I'm going to take the upset. I'm going to take Notre Dame to pull off the upset at home over USC because I don't trust USC's defense. I think Caleb Williams will still put up a lot of points in this game, but I just cannot trust Notre Dame's USC's defense to get enough stops against Notre Dame this week. So I'll go with the Irish at home over USC. Next up, Miami coming off a dreadful loss last week to Georgia Tech as they head into Chapel Hill to take on North Carolina. I will go with Drake May in North Carolina to get the win here at home. I think North Carolina's been playing very, very well this year. Drake May's proven to people why he is the number 2 quarterback in the NFL draft this year. So I'll take Drake May in North Carolina to get the win at home over Miami. Next up, Missouri heading into Lexington to take on Kentucky. I'm going to take Kentucky at home. I think I was going to take the home team in this game no matter what. So I will take Kentucky at home to get it done over Missouri. Next up, UCLA and Oregon State should be a good game here. I will take Oregon State in this game. I think Oregon State's been playing very, very well this year, and I'll take Oregon State at home in Corvallis against UCLA. Next up, NC State and Duke. I will go with Duke to get the win here. I think Duke's been playing very, very well this year. I'll take Duke at home over NC State. Now into the NFL games for the weekend. Should be another fun weekend of NFL action. First game out, the Denver Broncos taking on the Kansas City Chiefs tonight on Thursday Night Football. No problem here. I will take Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs to get back on track. Start showing us a little bit more of that offense that we've been missing this year. I'll take Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs at home over the Broncos. Next up, the final London game of the season it'll be Lamar Jackson and the Ravens heading in to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium to take on the Tennessee Titans. Ravens coming off a loss last week to the Steelers. I will take the Ravens in London to get a win and get back on track here. Give me the Ravens to get a win in London against the Titans. Next up, the Washington Commanders heading in to Atlanta to take on the Falcons. The Falcons undefeated at home, but I don't think that continues here. I think the Commanders were very let down last week by their performance. So I'm going to go with the Commanders to play much better this week and get a win on the road against the Falcons. Next up, the Minnesota Vikings heading into Chicago to take on the Chicago Bears. I will take the Vikings to get a win here on the road. I think the Minnesota Vikings are still going to do enough here on the road to get it done against the Chicago Bears. Next up, the Seattle Seahawks heading in to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. I'm going to go with the Seahawks here on the road. I think Seattle has shown me a little bit more this year than Cincinnati has, so I'll take the Seahawks on the road against the Bengals. Next up, Brock Purdy and the San Francisco 49ers heading into Cleveland to take on the Browns. Still no Deshaun Watson this week, potentially with the injury. I'm going to go with Brock Purdy and the San Francisco 49ers to stay undefeated and get a win on the road against the Browns. Next up, Bryce Young and the 0-5 Carolina Panthers heading in to Miami to take on Tua and the 4-1 Dolphins. Give me the Dolphins at home. I think the Dolphins are one of the best teams in the AFC this year. So I'm going to take Tua and the Dolphins to get a win at home over the Panthers. Next up, the Indianapolis Colts heading into Jacksonville to take on Trevor Lawrence and the Jags. Give me the Jaguars to get a win here at home. I think the Jags are starting to play a lot better after those 2 wins in London the past 2 weeks after beating the Falcons and the Bills the last 2 weeks. I think they're back on track. I'm going to take Trevor Lawrence and the Jags to get a win here at home over the Colts. Next up, the Houston Texans hosting the New Orleans Saints. I will go with C.J. Stroud and the Houston Texans to get a win here at home. I think the Texans are a little bit better than the Saints are right now. So I'm going to take the Houston Texans to get a win here at home over the Saints. Next up, Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots heading into Las Vegas to take on the Raiders. Give me Jimmy G and the Las Vegas Raiders to get a win here at home. I think the Raiders are a better team than the Patriots are right now, so give me Jimmy G and the Raiders to get a win at home in Las Vegas against the Patriots. Next up, the Arizona Cardinals heading into LA to take on the Rams. I will go with Matt Stafford and the Rams to get it done here at home. I think the Rams are a better team right now than the Cardinals, so I'll take the Rams to get their first home win of the season at home against the Cardinals. Next up, the Philadelphia Eagles heading into New York to take on the Jets. Jets getting a win last week against Denver. I will take the Eagles to get a win here on the road in New York against the Jets. Next up, and probably the best game of the weekend it'll be Jared Goff and the Lions heading into Tampa to take on Baker Mayfield and the Bucs. Creamsicle Day here in Tampa this weekend. I will take the Bucs to find a way to get a win here. I think the Bucs have been playing very well. Hopefully that bye week has given us some guys back from injury. So I'm going to take the Bucs to find a way to get a win here on the road at home over the Lions. Next up, the New York Giants heading into Buffalo to take on the Buffalo Bills. NFL, can you please stop putting the Giants in prime time? I mean, nobody wants to watch this team play on national television on Sunday, Monday, or Thursday night. But I'm going to take the Bills here at home. I think Buffalo's been playing better. Hopefully they give a better performance than they did last week against Jacksonville. 51 degrees in Buffalo, New York this week at Orchard Park. I'm going to take the Bills at home over the Giants. Next up, the Dallas Cowboys heading into LA to take on Justin Herbert and the Chargers. To my buddy Kyle, I apologize. I'm taking the Cowboys to get back on track this week. They looked absolutely horrible last Sunday, but I think they get back on track this week. Give me Dak and the Cowboys to get back on track this week on the road in LA against the Chargers. And that will do it for this episode of Scott Sweet Sports Day, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be back next week with some more college football and NFL predictions. And I'll see you guys right back here next week on Scott Sweet Sports. See you later, guys.